Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to go over the Stage 3 Team Affinity East Showdown. Essentially how this works is they've combined the NL East and the AL East into one big division to make this Team Affinity Showdown. So you're going to see a lot of players from the AL East and NL East when doing this showdown. Actually, all the players are going to be from those divisions. And that's going to be the same for the Team Affinity Central and the Team Affinity West Showdowns as well. They're based on taking the AL and NL division, combining the two. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to go over every single mission that I had on this run. Also in the description, I'm going to list every single mission I had in several different runs. And it's going to have who's on the mound, what you have to do, if you're the home team, away team, information like that. So look in the description below to get a detailed list of all the missions in case you have a question about one, since some of them are labeled incorrectly or improperly, or they're just not as descriptive as they should to know what you need to have. As well as sometimes they don't tell you the pitcher, and it's kind of important if you have a few platoon guys early on, whether to go right-handed pitching or left-handed pitching. That being said, how about you guys hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below what you guys think about this Team Affinity East Stage 3 Showdown, as well as comment below which missions you've had. If you didn't have one that was in here that's not listed in the description, I'll add it in the description if you give me a little bit of detail about it. As well as if you need any help, tips, pointers, or anything like that, comment below, I'll help you out. Especially when it comes to drafting your team or stuff within a mission or how to play the showdowns. I'm more than willing to help you guys out. Let's get into the missions here and go over each one that I had on this particular run. As you can see, it's my symbol versus the Atlanta Braves, so John Smoltz is going to be the final boss for this particular one. In the first mini mission, I had Nate Palmer. This is a mission that's pretty much about Jim Palmer. He's going to be on the mound, and you have to outduel him. You have to score 2 runs in the first 2 innings without allowing 1 run. The teams that you're facing is essentially the Baltimore Orioles lineup. It's pretty stacked. It starts with Brian Roberts, goes to Dwight Smith Jr., and after Dwight Smith Jr., it goes to Mountcastle and Trey Mancini. The next mission I had is Hanky, Throw That Stanky. This is to Tom Hanky. He was the closer for the Blue Jays. He's there, face of the franchise legend. He was a big part of the early 90s Blue Jays when they won the World Series in 1992. So you're the home team against the Blue Jays, even though you're playing in Toronto. You start at the bottom of the 8th. You're down 1-0. You have to win the game. I've done this mission every time I've seen it pop up, and I've completed it 2 out of the 4 times. So it's kind of hit or miss. It's not that easy of a mission. Gives you one final showdown run. The next mission I had is Save the O's. With a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 9th, lock down the save against the Orioles for the win. So you're going to get your closer. You have to play the Orioles. As I've already mentioned, their lineup starts out with a Brian Roberts prime card. The second card is Dwight Smith Jr. Then it goes to the future stars, Ryan Mountcastle. Then the 4th batter is Trey Mancini. You always want to pick a closer, and I recommend that you pick a gold closer. I'll talk about this a little bit more in the back end of the video whenever we go over my squad. But you always want to pick a closer. There'll be one available normally in one of the gold rounds. Pick him up. I'm telling you right now, he'll help with some of these missions. In the first showdown, I had to play Signature Series, John Franco. In the first showdowns, you can either get John Franco or I have gotten Keith Falk from the Boston Red Sox. Both of the missions, you get 12 outs. You get a guy on second base. You have to score 3 runs because you're down 2-0 to win the showdown. I highly recommend if you're playing this John Franco, take a lot of pitches. He's a little wild. When I played him this time around, I literally was doing something else on my computer because my boss for work called me and I had to do something real quick. So I let every batter run up to 2 strikes. Franco threw about 50 pitches and he walked in 2 of the 3 runs I needed. Then I hit a sac fly to win. It was literally that easy. It's not always that easy with John Franco, but he does throw a screwball as his primary, so he's not the most accurate pitcher. The next mission I had, Tom is the Bomb. This mission is based off of Tom Glavine. So in the mission description, it says in the first 2 innings, tally 2 extra base hits and 2 runs. You actually have to tally 1 extra base hit and 2 runs. So it's a little bit of a misprint here by SDS. Just so you guys know, the mission is a little bit hard, but it's not too bad. This is against the 95 overall Signature Series Tom Glavine, just so you guys know. And if you guys don't know who Tom Glavine is, do a little bit of research about him for yourself because he's actually part of the 3-headed monster from the Atlanta Braves in the 90s, but he's a left-handed pitcher, just so you guys know. The next mission I had, Smoltz Throwing Bolts, and this is about John Smoltz. You're going to face his face of the franchise legend card on the mound here. It's just like the mission we had just done against Tom Glavine. You have to get 1 extra base hit and 2 runs, and you cannot allow 2 runs in 2 innings. not too bad. This time around I didn't do it, just got a couple unlucky line outs here or there, miss-swung on a pitch. It happens, but I think you guys will be able to do this. Against John Smoltz, always look for pitches that are high. He likes to throw his fastball high and away, so watch out for that. The next mission I had is El Duque, which is essentially Orlando Hernandez, who's also known as El Duque. He's a super high leg kick. He's a right-handed pitcher, if you guys don't know. You're going to be facing his prime card that's on the mound. You have to tally 3 hits and 2 runs in the first 2 innings of the game. I just didn't get enough hits in this game. He walked a lot of batters. He didn't give me a lot of pitches to hit, so that was kind of unfortunate. I did score the 2 runs, but I only got 2 hits. It happens. Once again, I don't think this mission's that bad. None of these missions are really that bad. It's just it's only 2 innings to do it, so if you have like a bad at bat or two, it can really screw up your mojo or mess things up. So you just have to make sure that you're focused in, you're a little bit patient at the plate, and pick good pitches to hit. But all the missions are on veterans, so they're not too bad. But I just recommend always being patient at the plate. In the second showdown this time around, I had the Players Tournament Blake Snell. So this is another showdown, so you have to complete it. You have 15 outs. You have a man on second. You're down 2-0, so you have to score 3 runs. Other than Blake Snell, I've also had Spencer Howard, the Future Stars card for the Philadelphia Phillies that was in, I believe, the set 24-25 headliners as the featured card. Also in the second showdown. And those are the only 2 guys I've had in the second showdown so far. If you guys get anybody else in this first or second showdown, let me know. I will add them to the list. I'm obviously going to run this Team Affinity East Stage 3 showdown quite a bit to unlock more missions and stuff that might randomize or pop up. However, I have to do a video on the Central and West, and I'm sure you guys are also looking forward to. So for the next couple days, if you guys see anything while you're playing these Team Affinity East Stage 3 showdowns, let me know. I'll add it in the description below, and I really appreciate it if you do. The next mini mission I had was Nats Go Boom with a 4-3 lead against the Nationals in the 9th inning. Lock down the save by striking out a batter, not allowing a run. So essentially, with your closer, once again, you got to get a save. You got to strike a guy out. The way their lineup goes is as follows. Future Stars Garcia, then face of the franchise legend Dawson, then face of the franchise Soto. Then it goes to Future Stars Carter Keyboom. Then it goes to the Washington Nationals collection reward Vladimir Guerrero. I think that's an all-star card. I'm not 100% sure, but that's the 5th batter. It hasn't got past the 5th batter for me, because if it did, you'd obviously lose. Make sure you keep the ball down, because all those dudes can hit home runs, especially down and in against Soto, because that's really where his cold spot is on his strike zone. The next main mission is I Prefer Salmon. So out hit the Marlins in the first 2 innings by scoring 2 runs and striking out 2 batters without allowing 2 runs. So you're going to play the Miami Marlins. Gold Al Leiter is going to be on the mound. He's only like an 82 or 83 overall. He's very wild to take a lot of pitches. He walked a few guys for me. You only have to score runs. You don't have to get a certain amount of hits or anything, and 2 strikeouts. And you face this souped-up Marlins lineup. Just keep the ball down. Keep it away from the big bats if you have a lefty. If you're a righty, make sure you throw those lefties hard and in. Guys like Jazz Chisholm can definitely take the ball yard if you hang one. So just be careful of that. The next mini mission I had Schmidt, it can hit. For this mini mission, you have to strike out 2 batters, score 2 runs, and do not allow a run in 2 innings. So this one, I've done it 3 out of 4 times that I've done these showdowns. This time was the only time I didn't complete it. You face the face of the franchise, Aaron Nola's on the mound. He's not that great of a pitcher. He throws his fastball like right down the middle, center cut, up high, so you can just kind of drive it. This time around, I just got some pretty bad RNG, some line drives at guys. It happens. Just if it does happen to you, either step away for a second. Just don't keep your head down. It's part of the game. It's unfortunate. I know this game can be frustrating sometimes. Also, for striking out 2 batters, you're facing the souped-up lineup of the Philadelphia Phillies. I believe the first batter might be JT Realmuto, and then you have to face Shane Victorino and the Mike Schmidt card. After that, I can't really remember. Either way, just get your strikeouts, keep the ball low, hopefully don't let up a run. Just focus on the Aaron Nola. Make sure that you take his fastball and you drive it into the gaps if you can. For this one, I have the final showdown versus John Smoltz. It's going to be 7-15, so I'm going to have to score 9 runs, which is a little bit unfortunate. It's not really where I want to be. However, it is nice that all of the missions, once again, for this Stage 3 is the same as Stage 2. They're all on veteran. Let's go look at my squad and manage it a little bit and see how we're going to line them up for using John Smoltz and talk about some good cards to pick up here and there along the way. Okay, so we're in the lineup screen here. The first round, you're always going to get an option to pick a face of the franchise legend. For this division, I've been picking Don Mattingly almost every single time just because he has a very good swing. You can look at his attributes. They're pretty decent. He has above 100 contact righty and lefty. And he's 77 power versus righty, 80 power versus lefty. Great vision. I think his biggest downside is actually his PCI is a little bit too big. So sometimes you get a little bit lost if you play with the PCI on because it's just so big that he can actually hit everything. So you have to be a little selective with the pitches you're swinging at with him. But other than that, I think he's the best option out of the NL East unless you can get Mike Schmidt. If you get an option to take Mike Schmidt, you take Mike Schmidt every single time. The Andre Dawson's great. However, he's a better platoon hitter against lefties, and he's not that great against righties. I personally don't like his swing. I know a lot of dudes do. So if you actually like the Dawson, take Dawson over Mattingly. There's also going to be some pitcher options. Never take a pitcher in the first round. That's just silly. In the next round, you're going to have an option for a plus 95 diamond again. This time around, I got this Reggie Jackson. I know some of you guys don't like Reggie Jackson's swing, but I think he's a great player to pick up if you see him as an option. As well as I had Mickey Mantle one of those rounds as well, the 99 overall Mickey Mantle, so that's another good pickup. For one of the diamond rounds, I seen Ben Zobrist. He's a switch hitter. He has a very glitchy swing. I know he doesn't have the greatest power numbers, but he hits the ball very hard, much above his attributes because of his swing. I really like him as a card. Freddie Freeman's always an option for me if it's a bunch of guys that are under 89 overall diamonds because Freddie Freeman has a glitchy swing. Great guy to have. Another guy I picked up this time around is Trey Mancini. I like his silver card a lot. I don't know if his diamond card's that great, but in the round I had to pick, I didn't really have other good options as diamond cards. Two of them were pitchers, and I think the other one was like, not Entretel Simmons because he's not obviously in this division, but somebody that has like the power and hitting ability of him. I cannot remember it. A couple guys that are always worth picking up that are golds is the Show 18 Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez from the Yankees, and Griffin Conine are three goals that are pretty good to pick up that I have on my team right now. As well as if you see Jeff McNeil, always pick Jeff McNeil. He has a very glitchy swing. It's very easy to hit the ball with him. He drives into the ball even though he only has like 65 power, 70 power. He hits it way harder than that. He hits a lot of line drives. Howie Kendrick's a good silver if you get him early on and by winning one of the first three mini missions. As for pitchers, like I said, pick a gold closer because you're going to need him for the showdown. So pick your gold closer, get him early. I like Ken Giles. Easy motion to throw with, has a good slider, good fastball. You only really need two pitches against the computer. Some other decent closers that you could get that maybe aren't gold guys is like a Brandon Workman from the Boston Red Sox. I believe he's a silver, and he's a pretty good closer if you see him as an option. For starting pitchers, I have Marcus Stroman. I personally don't like Marcus Stroman, but I do recommend picking a silver pitcher when you initially draft in one of the two silver rounds. Stroman was the only starting pitcher that was an option in either of those two rounds, so that's why I went with him. Not a huge fan of him. I think there's better options as starters that are silvers, such as a Tyler Glasnow. That's who I would really recommend if he's there. He has a lot of good stuff to striking people out, where he can just strike people out in these modes. And he also has a just straight from the stretch wind-up, so you don't have to deal with any BS of a super long wind-up. Also, warm up your closer right away at the beginning of any pitching mission or any of the missions, and bringing your closer, we need some strikeouts, because they probably can strike guys out better than your starter can anyway. I will give a detailed list of guys I think you should pick up from the AL East and NL East for this showdown as well. If you guys have any questions whenever you guys complete a mission and 4 cards pop up, or the initial draft, I think it can help you guys out if I list a few cards that I think are the best options for picking, and if they're available, pick them. If not, you can always ask in the comments below, and I will get to you as soon as I possibly can. Guys, that's going to wrap up the breakdown of this Stage 3 Team Affinity East Showdown. I hope the video helps you guys out. Good luck getting these Stage 3 Team Affinity players, and I hope these showdowns treat you kindly and you don't get any of those perfect outs or good outs. I hope everybody completes the showdowns whenever they do them. And like I said before, you got any questions, comments, concerns, need any help with anything, just comment down below and I'll help you guys out. You guys have a great day and be safe.